Feel that urgency, that need to escape. It follows us, a voice whispering that the grass is always greener on the other side, that your life as it is not enough. In a desperate attempt to find peace, we spend our entire lives trying to run. Run from what? First, from the outside world, from the relentless expectations that consume us, from the unrealistic standards that social media bombards us with, showing a perfection that does not exist. We try to hide from people. We isolate ourselves, lock the door, turn off our phones, creating a protective bubble in the hope that no one can reach us, judge us, hurt us. And we reach the most extreme point of trying to erase our own past. Have you ever seriously considered starting from scratch? Moving to a new city, cutting all ties, burning all bridges, changing your name, reinventing yourself as a new and improved character, without the scars of the old story? It's a fantasy so tempting that it makes us believe happiness is an airplane ride away, in another place, in another life. And for a while, it might even seem to work. The new city, the new name, the new life. It's as if the old story is, finally, buried. But it is just an illusion, because no matter how far you run, no matter how well you hide, no matter how many times you change your name, there is one single, undeniable thing you can never, ever escape: your own essence, the totality of who you truly are, in all your complex, contradictory, and often painful truth. And to be even more precise, the escape becomes completely useless when it comes to the vast, deep, and dark collection of feelings, memories, impulses, and inconvenient truths that you, out of fear or shame, have buried in the depths of your being. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, one of the greatest explorers of the human soul, gave a name to this hidden part, this portion of the psyche that contains everything we reject in ourselves: the shadow. And it is precisely in this place, this reservoir of all that is repressed, that your personal and untransferable hell resides. Not a hell created by gods, but a hell that you, brick by brick, built with your own denial. Hell, in Jung's profound view, is not a physical place of fire and brimstone. It is not a punishment imposed by a higher power. It's an internal battlefield, a civil war of the soul. It's a prison that you build with your own hands. Think for a moment. What is the raw material of this prison? It's the bricks of your denial. It's the refusal to accept what is. It's the internal voice that screams, "I am not envious," while envy gnaws at your chest. "I am not selfish," while you walk all over others to get what you want. "I am a totally good person," while you allow yourself cruel thoughts. And the most terrifying part of all is the role of the jailer. Who is behind the bars? It's not an external force. It's you yourself. You are the master of your own dungeon. You are the one who locks the cell, bolts the door, and, in a final act of self-sabotage, swallows the key, convincing yourself that you've lost it forever. But this key, which symbolizes your capacity for liberation, does not disappear. It remains there, hidden, and its presence manifests as a constant, dull ache, an unexplained suffering, a sadness without apparent cause. It reveals itself as a persistent reminder of what is imprisoned. It hurts, and it hurts in a way you can't explain, because the key is still there, guarded, and your hell is real and palpable. The shadow is the vast and unexplored cellar of the soul, a place where we store the characteristics we are most ashamed of. It is not an empty place. It is a repository full of life, energy, and emotions. In it resides the anger you deny feeling, the envy you disguise as admiration, the will to control that you hide under the mask of excessive care. In the shadow, your most obscure and unconfessable desires reside, those that your social self would never allow to surface. There is the vanity disguised as self-confidence, the lie you tell yourself to maintain your facade, the weakness you hide under a facade of unshakable strength, the arrogance that manifests as absolute certainty about everything, and the hypocrisy you project onto others, judging in them what you refuse to see in yourself. Every time you In an act of self-deception, say to yourself or to others, "That's not me." An authentic and alive part of your soul is violently pushed into the depths of your unconscious. And there, that part does not die. On the contrary, it feeds on your denial. It waits. It grows, becomes deformed, and strengthens, like a living entity that in the silence of your being screams without a sound, demanding to be recognized. The shadow is a wounded child, a part of you that you abandoned in the dark, knocking on the door of your unconscious, asking to be seen, but you ignore it. The dynamic is cruelly simple. The more you deny yourself, the more you push down what you don't want to see, the more the shadow strengthens. Denial is its food. It's the oxygen it needs to grow and become a parasite of your soul, a stowaway in the car of your life. And sneakily, subtly, and dangerously, one day, without you even realizing it, the shadow takes the steering wheel of your life. It starts making the decisions. It infiltrates your relationships, dictating destructive patterns that make you repeat the same mistakes and fall for the same wrong people. It molds your morality, causing you to justify actions that, deep down, you know are wrong. It's okay, they deserve what's happening to them. It whispers. It manifests in your own body, in psychosomatic illnesses, in constant anxiety, in compulsive habits. And finally, it takes command of your life completely, and you believe you are in control. But you are not. The shadow doesn't invade brutally. It convinces subtly. It doesn't shout orders. It whispers suggestions that seem like your own, that seem like the most logical and sensible way to protect yourself. This is where the Jungian hell truly begins. When your life becomes silently commanded by what you stubbornly pretend doesn't exist. Jung was not kidding. He made a statement of alarming depth, crucial for our personal journey. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Can you grasp the gravity and weight of every word of that statement? Hell is precisely this. Living an entire life destroying yourself, making decisions that seem to be your inevitable fate. Think about how many times you've said, "Oh, I'm just like this. There's no way around it. I always mess everything up. It's my destiny to suffer in relationships." These are not truths, they are excuses. They are the voice of your shadow. The painful truth is that these choices were made by parts of you that you consciously abandoned in the dark. The wounds you ignored, the grievances you didn't process, the fears you pretended not to have. Hell is not an imposed punishment. It is the natural result of living an entire life disconnected from yourself. It's what happens when you hand over the reins of your life to what you hate most in yourself. Do you really think you are free? That you have total control over your actions? That you know exactly what you want out of life? Jung's response to this belief is an invitation to a bitter laugh, and the reason is simple. If you have never had the courage to descend into the depths of your own shadow, to face what you hide, you have no idea who is really in command of your existence. You are, at best, a beautiful puppet, an impeccable facade that moves, talks, and smiles, but that is manipulated by a wounded, hidden, angry self, hungry for attention. Your life is a puppet show, and your shadow is pulling the strings from behind the curtain while you think you are dancing on your own. And hell, in this scenario, is not a place of punishment, but the tragic stage where this theater of self-deception repeats itself eternally. Hell is the eternal return of what you refuse to love in yourself. It's the part of you that you judged, condemned, and abandoned, and which insists on returning to demand its rightful place. It's the anger that explodes disproportionately. It's the obsession with purity that makes you sick. It's the childhood trauma that you swept under the rug of your soul, and which now, like an invisible leak, seeps into your decisions and your deep inability to find peace and serenity. The shadow is not the enemy. The shadow is the part of you that you have turned into an enemy. Jung taught that you need to integrate the shadow. Look at it head-on, without fear or judgment. Talk to it. Listen to what it has to say. Admit that these unwanted parts are also part of who you are. This process is about asking yourself, what is this anger trying to tell me? What does this envy show me about what I truly desire? But this process is extremely painful. It destroys the mask you've worn your entire life to protect yourself. It requires you to voluntarily descend into the hell of your own soul and face the monster. And the most shocking part of all is the final epiphany. When you face it, you realize it has your face. This is the real hell. Not the one that burns you from the outside, but the one that eats away at you from within. The hell where there are no demons, but fragments of yourself that you have abandoned. They look at you with a mixture of pain and a thirst for revenge, like abandoned children who were never embraced. They act like hungry beasts. They want justice. They want space. They want a voice. You can ignore all this, but the shadow does not disappear. It just grows. And if you don't embrace it, it will swallow you. It will turn you into everything you judge most in others. It will make your mind a labyrinth. It will isolate you. And it will laugh as you sink into despair, without understanding why life is so difficult. But there is a way. Jung left us a map, a mirror. He said, "He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens." The Jungian hell is only eternal for those who refuse to wake up. So, wake up. Not out of fear, but because you deserve to become whole. Because you deserve to be free. Because only those who go through the hell of the shadow find the paradise of truth about themselves. But the journey is solitary, brutal, and the truth always sets you free. Even if, to free you, it first has to burn you to the bone.